Okay, welcome back, and we're now in the second part of getting started with HomeoQuest, and we're going to look at the two main revolutionary features in HomeoQuest Premium, that's Quest and Remedy Analysis. So the Quest feature is a unique feature, so I've selected that in my software here, and this is a feature which is not found in any other software at this particular point in time. And what it does is it's a combined materia medica and repertory search. So if you're looking for, your patient's words of a particular symptom, you will get the top remedies for that symptom from your entire collection of database, both the repertories and the materia medica. That's one. And then as you continue to add more symptoms, the Quest will start repertorizing it. And again, this repertorization happens not just from the repertories, but also from the materia medica. So for the first time ever, you are now able to tap into that materia medica data that has never found its way into the repertories, because our repertories are work in progress, they're limited, and so many things in your materia medica cannot be easily converted into the right rubric, found at the right place. So this eliminates all those issues and you can get the best of both worlds. All right, so I'll give you an example. Let's start with the same rubric that we were looking at in our repertory searches. Let's start with that first rubric that we had, that was grief silent. So I'm going to put in grief, I'm going to put in silent, and do with the space in between, and then say search. Now again, I've used some options here, and I'm just looking at the old books and the old materia medica here. All right, so in my database, and I'm going to go search. Now what happens is Quest will go and sort out the top remedies for grief silent. Now by default, Ignatia is selected, so these are all the results for Ignatia. And if you realize, these results are now from Kent's repertory, Bonninghausen's repertory, Ney's repertory. But as you go below, you can start looking at even materia medica symptoms. So Herring's guiding symptoms, unhappy love with grief. Bonninghausen's materia medica, and you have silent grief, and so on. So you can start looking at, so I'm now selecting the second remedy that comes up top, and that's natramur, and look at the different results for natramur here. So if there is a data from, say, one of the repertories, you will also get other remedies in that rubric. You can see that on the right side column. Now cholesynthis, who would have thought cholesynthis would come up in the top 5 remedies for silent grief? And even lycopodium. And this is interesting because lycopodium also has silent grief, which we never really think about, right? So that's the beauty of Quest. Now so what's happening here is Quest is a very multi-purpose search engine, and I can't really overemphasize how much it is useful in your acute totality, in your chronic totalities, because remember, you will get more information and more details on this particular Quest feature in a separate Quest tutorial. We're going to do some cases there. We're also going to go deep dive into case studies where you will find differences between a Quest repertorization and a traditional repertorization, the pros and cons on each. So it's wonderful. So check that out if you haven't already. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you a small example. Say this patient, and this is something I've chosen because it was just at the top of my mind. We've done this in the last few days. So he had silent grief, contradiction aggravates, and headache with nausea. And what happens is, just based on this, he was given the remedy natramuraticum. It just quick materia medica analysis, and we sort of gave him natramur. But natramur did not really cut it with his headache, and so that was the time I decided to do a quick Quest analysis. So check this out. So now I'm going back to Quest. As you see, you can jump from one section to the other. The data and things on that section remain the same. So in materia medica data, we've now come to the Quest one, and I'm going to now if you check it here, Quest runs with Quest analysis. Just like the repertory search runs with repertorization, we had our repertorization here, Quest runs with Quest analysis. So make sure you have chosen this tab when you're looking at Quest. Now this graph represents this particular silent grief as the symptom, right? This graph is a representation of these remedies here. Let's put in the second one, that is contradiction. So these are the top remedies now for contradiction, intolerant or cannot tolerate, or aggravation, and so on. Okay, so we have aurum and ignatia and lyco. Now, so you have two symptoms, grief silent and contradiction, where I used, contradiction, but I wanted a broad range of symptoms. I didn't put in aggravation because I would have missed out contradiction, intolerant of, and so on. So I just put a broad spectrum rubric there. So now this graph has changed. This graph now represents the repertorization, mater medica analysis, and everything combined for the top remedies of these two symptoms. So you see, before there was, natramur, or what else? What was it? It was ignatia and natramur and phosphoric acid and so on. With these two symptoms now, we have ignatia, lycopodium, aurum, and so on. Okay, natramur has been taken way back into, not the top three. Let's look at what other symptom that person had. He had headache with nausea. So after losing somebody, this grief came on, very, very intolerant of anyone who was contradicting him, and lots of different types of head issues with lots of nausea. So I'm going to put in head and nausea here. Okay, so this is our third symptom I'm putting in Quest, and then say search. So now we have head, nausea, and now these are the top remedies for all those remedies that have headache or head issues with nausea. Again, natramur is the top remedy here, but look what's happening at the bottom. Now this is a combination of silent grief, contradiction, and head with nausea issues. And what comes up at the top? Cocculus. And we never thought of cocculus. It was never in the horizon, right? Natramur seemed so indicated, if not ignatia possibly. So let's look at where is cocculus coming up here. So if I look at silent grief, where is cocculus? That's here. And it has silent grief. It has, Bonninghausen gives it for emotions with, silent grief, aggravation. There you go. So that's cocculus coming up here. What else? In contradiction, look at that. Contradiction, you have cocculus come up, which is intolerant of, and anger with, vexation, intolerant of, cannot bear, cannot endure contradiction, from Herring's Mater Medica and from Kent's Mater Medica and from Allen's keynotes, and from Allen's Therapeutics of Fever and Fartak's Mater Medica. And where is natramur here? Natramur is not here in the first 10. Did you realize that? Natramur comes way down there, not even the first 10 or 15, because, and the reason for that is cocculus comes way up because Quest, the sorting in Quest is done on 3 different, points. One, if a particular remedy is highly graded in the Mater Medica or the repertories, it comes up at the top. That's one point of differentiation. So cocculus, as you can see in this particular rubric, say we have cocculus and we have contradiction tolerant of. Can you see cocculus is in grade 2, natramur is in grade 1 here. Or natramur is not even present in mine's contradiction is intolerant of Kent's repertory. So how interesting is that? Natrum carbase, but natramur isn't here, whereas cocculus is here. So that's quite interesting for me. And what other things that you see is cocculus is denoted by so many authors. So clinically, if more number of authors in our database have given a particular remedy highly ticked or graded, then that remedy comes at the top. So cocculus has been graded for tolerant, intolerant, contradiction intolerant of by Kent, by Borghi, by Faddock, by Nair, by Herring, Allen, whereas Natremure, if you go, it is only by Kent, Borghi, and Lippe. Does that make sense? So that is why cocculus is so highly graded, and the remedy that helped this person was cocculus. So that's the beauty of quest analysis, and that's the beauty because churning out key rubrics, and it gives you a ready-made graphical analysis. You don't now need to go and read from the Mathematica because it's already added in, and Quest has been one of the most revolutionary things for HomeoQuest members because it saves a lot of time. It has been fantastic for me in my rural clinic because I could work with 50, 100 patients within an hour because it was so quick. And that's for me, I really highly encourage you to check that out. Now, the other important feature is remedy analysis. Now, remedy analysis is like a huge feature. So this is where you can compare and contrast hundreds of remedies. You can derive thematic Mathematicas, reverse Mathematicas, therapeutic Mathematicas, group analysis, kingdom analysis. I mean, this is like a deep feature. I've done a full-on tutorial on this. Check out the remedy analysis tutorial. There are 2 parts to it, so make sure that you look at both. Part 1 is on simple options and part 2 is on advanced options. So, but what I can do is we'll do a quick practical application of how remedy analysis I've used in 80% of times, all right? And I do it for fine-tuning differentiation. So say in this case, you had cocculus come up, and I'm not sure what sort of cocculus symptoms are with the head. So you can just right click or control click on cocculus and you can say add to remedy analysis. And cocculus is added to the remedy analysis here, right? And you can also, add things. So say I want to check Natremure, just type in the first few letters and check out Natremure and you can add that in. So you select these 2 remedies, and with the analysis option, I'm going to select contrast because I want to contrast the 2 remedies here, and I'm going to put head in the word filter because I want to, contrast the head rubrics of cocculus, or just the headache rubrics of cocculus and Natremure. So I want rubrics of headache that have cocculus but do not have Natremure, and those that have Natremure but do not have cocculus. So you can sort of fine tune it, and I say analyze. So now what you get in this column are the headache symptoms of these remedies where the other is not present. So you see a lot of Natremure, obviously because it's a well-proved remedy, but I'm going to check where cocculus comes up here. And if you just scroll down, look at that. Headache, bending head backwards ameliorates is cocculus. How interesting in that, which does not have Natremure in it. Okay, headache, which is aggravated from coffee is cocculus. Headache with dentition issues is cocculus, but not Natremure. Look at that. Headache of depressing or sad news is cocculus. There is no Natremure in it. So headache with gastric issues is cocculus. So heating, if it ameliorates, it's cocculus. But if heating, aggravates, is Natremure. So can you see, these are like the fine-tuning questions I could ask my patient sometimes. Are you better by heat? Are you not? That could just make that fine-tuning so easy for me, at that particular point in time. And that's the beauty of, doing this and getting that finer tuning and finer differentiation. Lying is amelioration by Natremure, but lying on the back is aggravated in cocculus, and so on and so forth. So these are like wonderful ways of trying to contrast your remedies and get the best out of your Mathematica and repertoire. So one important thing is, I do a quick remedy analysis in acutes, even sometimes a patient sitting in front of me for that final tuning, and it just works wonderfully. So hope this was helpful. We have a deep dive tutorial again for every feature. But this was like an overview. I wanted to just cover the best sort of highlights of the HomeoQuest software here. But I hope it gets you started and you start playing with HomeoQuest and then go deeper into each section if you need more information. Now, if you have any technical queries, you need to write to support@homeoquest.com, and if possible, send them a screenshot so that they can look into your version, they can look into what's happening and help you much better. But if you have any homeopathic queries, applying this in practice or how to use a particular feature, then put them down in the discussion forum below. I look forward to your queries. I look forward to your comments, your feedback. Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down, but get started the discussion, and I'll look forward to helping you more. All right, so thank you very much. You take care, and I'll come with a new tutorial very soon. Thank you.